Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday Fun Day Habit. Thank you for joining our financial literacy class today. Feel free to take notes as needed or take screenshots of the information that interests you. So, if you have questions, please write them down and talk to the person who invited you. We value your time with us, and we will ensure that this next hour is going to be worth it. So for today, we will be discussing about five topics. One, we will introduce to you what IMG is. Two, we will talk about the financial challenges that we face in four major areas. Three, we will discuss about the basic financial concepts. Four, we will introduce you to Kaiser Healthcare. And five, we will share with you the benefits of being a part of the IMG community. So with these five topics, all of us should be able to learn something new, relearn something familiar, and unlearn something that needs changing. And to introduce myself, my name is Mayyu Cappleman-Bajet, and I will be your host for today. I am an associate here in IMG since November 2020, and I am very much excited to share with you what I have learned by being part of this community. I would also like to congratulate you for taking the first step towards financial literacy, towards overcoming poverty, and towards financial independence. You are here because someone thought of you, and that someone believes that you will greatly benefit from what you will learn today. And what you are about to learn are all taken from this book entitled The Secret to Saving and Building Your Future. We all know that money is powerful. It is powerful that it can either make or break us. Many of us work hard, yet we seem we are not getting enough. We take more than one job or take side hustles or sidelines or rackets, but it seems that what we earn is not enough. Many professionals who are earning bigger incomes still find that they are not saving enough, or worse, find themselves in debts. So in IMG, we will learn that there is something that is more powerful than money, and that is financial education. Financial education is not just for the rich, the wealthy, or the business people, but it is for everyone. Financial education is the reason why the rich people continue to become rich or richer. Further, financial education was not taught to us back in high school or college, when in fact, it is an important subject that we need to learn, just like math, science, or history. And that's why IMG aims to spread awareness to all Filipinos around the globe about financial education so that all of us can achieve financial success. Financial education aims to break the cycle of poverty. It is important to initiate discussions about money or money management because that is how we learn to be secure of the future without worrying about the lack of money to feed or clothe ourselves and our family. When there is financial security, there is a peace of mind. So in IMG, we combine a great mission that is to provide financial education and a potential business career in the financial industry. We are here to share with you the basics of financial education because we believe that anyone is capable and should be given the opportunity to change his or her life for the better. In IMG, we also have mentors, people we look up to. So, people who are experts in their field to teach and guide us in our journey towards financial freedom. So, showing you are the pillars of IMG, namely Sir Joan de las Peñas, Sir Noel Arandilla, and Sir Bart Borja. They are considered the big three of IMG. We also have notable mentors. Brother Bo Sanchez, who is a Catholic lay minister and writer of several financial literacy books, and Sir Rex Mendoza, who is known as the investment guru. He is the CEO of Ramver Financials, which is the leading mutual funds distributor in the Philippines. So, as a total financial solution, IMG will help us to become financially educated as well as give us opportunities or platforms to apply our learnings. IMG stands for International Marketing Group, which is a global company that serves as an avenue in achieving financial security. It caters to the financial needs of every individual and families who wish to achieve financial independence. IMG's mission and vision is about helping every Filipino family to become wealthy or rich or financially secured by making financial education available for everyone, regardless of status or professional background, by teaching every Filipino how to save the right way. In IMG, we will share with you for free a financial planning strategy that is simple, clear, doable, and easy to understand. So, are you ready to learn more? So, can you give me a thumbs up or can you type the word ready in our chat box? All right, perfect. So, let's get on with it. Thank you. So every day, people go to work to make a living. But no matter how hard we work and how much we earn, money always seems to control our lives. In fact, the working Filipino continue to face increasing challenges in four major areas. The first one is the uncertain labor market, meaning there is no security or assurance that our jobs will last long, especially those in the private sector or the unemployed. We are not certain if our jobs will be there in the next months or the next year. So, just like what happened to most people during the pandemic, right? Nobody expected this to happen, yet it happened and it left a thousand of Filipino families struggling to make ends meet for their families every day. Another thing that adds to this uncertainty is automation. This is when machines or computers are replacing the human workers. The age of powerful software and technology continues to replace more and more human workers. So examples are these kiosks that we see in fast food restaurants or in the cinemas or in stores, right? So all we have to do is tap on the machine, make our order, and we can even pay right there and then. So we no longer need to converse with a person. So imagine the number of human workers that are being displaced by automation. The second major area is low savings and high debt. Majority of Filipino workers have just enough income per month, which is sometimes not enough, especially for big families. And many think that the solution to financial challenges is to borrow money. With debts that are piling that need to be paid, most Filipinos also tend to borrow more money to pay their debts. Another habit that adds to low savings and high debt is the mentality of party now, bahala na later, or YOLO, you only live once, or the bahala na si Batman mentality. This is best exemplified most of the time by OFWs, but not all of them. We say these because these are scenarios that we see or hear from our friends and relatives, wherein when they come home, they spend most of their savings for parties, outings, inuman, and when they need to go back abroad to continue working, they do not have enough money. So the tendency is to borrow money. Okay, so our lifestyle and spending habits can also add to low savings and high debt. So we might not admit it, but we also have this tendency to buy more than what we need. So, for example, we do not need a new phone, but because a new model is out, we want to be with the trend. So we buy that new phone without even considering if we can really afford it, right? And another is buying expensive items just because most of our friends buy them. So these lifestyles and bad spending habits have a big impact on retirement. So instead of enjoying our retirement, the retirement money that we receive is used to pay for our debts. In short, nothing is left for us to spend when we get old, and especially when we no longer have jobs. So that is why there are people who continue to work beyond age 65 in order to survive. So since these people are already beyond retirement age, they have no choice but to take any job so they can have something to use for their daily expenses. The third major area is high cost of education. In most schools, the increase in tuition happens every 6 years, but in some schools, it can be every year. So when we plan for our children's education, we must take these increases into consideration because the tuition fee this year might double or triple by the time our kids will start college. But the bottom line here is there will always be expenses for education, whether our children are enrolled in public schools or private schools or in any school for that matter, even if they have scholarships. And these expenses include allowances, food, school supplies, books, rent for housing or dorm, transportation, uniforms, computers, internet, and others, right? And we all want our children to be in a good school. Hence, majority of Filipinos need to save enough for the cost of a good education. And the last major area is the increasing cost of living. So inflation is the rate at which money loses its value and the level of prices for goods and services is rising. So as we can see here, the inflation rate last December 2020 was 3.5% and it went up to 4.2% in January and further up in April 2021 at 4.5%. So inflation affects the purchasing power of our money. So let's take our 1,000 pesos for example. So in 1998, 1,000 pesos can fill up a grocery cart. 10 years later, the same amount of money can only afford items to fill up half of the cart. And in another 10 years, the 1,000 pesos can only buy few items. So how much more in another 10 years? So inflation lowers the value of our money over time. So together with increasing taxes and no increase in salary, what do you think will happen? So do we have enough to save? What happens if we do not have enough savings and emergencies happen, such as hospitalization, calamities, unemployment? So in summary, these are the four major areas where most Filipinos are financially challenged. So for our guests here, we have 26 of you. How about you? Which of the four major areas do you think affects you most? So can you type the number or numbers in our chat box? Which of the four major areas do you think affects you most? Okay, so please type in your answers in our chat box. All right, okay. Okay, so we have here increasing cost of living, low savings and high debt. All right, uncertain labor market. Okay, thank you. So considering these challenges or realities in life that all of us will face, the next question for us would be, how do we overcome these challenges? What can we do? How can IMG help the Filipino rise from these challenges? So it is important to know that our future is not in the hands of anyone else, not our company, not our friends, not even the government. Nobody has the responsibility to make your life better and financially secure except you, right? So in IMG, we will learn how to make money, save money the right way, accumulate money, or how to grow it, and most importantly, to protect the money that we worked hard for. And understanding how money works is how it will work for us is a part of taking care of our future and the future of our family. That's why IMG encourages everyone to acquire financial education, because financial education together with discipline will help us become wealthy and overcome the challenges that we face in the four major areas. So to understand how money works, let me introduce to you three basic financial concepts. And these are the X-curve concept, the power of compound interest using the rule of 72, and how to build a solid financial foundation. So the X-curve concept states that over time, as we get older, our responsibility decreases and our wealth increases. So this is shown by the two curves that run to opposite directions during our lifetime. So when we are younger and starting a job, normally we don't have money, no big savings. So what we do is we work hard to have money and to receive active income. At this time also, we have the responsibility to take care of our family since we're the ones working to help our parents, our siblings, or if we are starting our own family. So if we are the breadwinner, it is our obligation, whether we live or die, to provide for food, shelter, education, healthcare, and to pay our bills and debts. So our income during this time is not enough and temporary, thereby we are less secure. So at the height of meeting all our responsibilities and building our wealth, we suddenly get sick or we lose our job due to calamities. Worse, although we are not praying this to happen to anyone else, what if we die too soon? We can never know, right? It can happen to anyone. So if this happens, who then will take care of our families, right? So if we die too soon, this is where life insurance comes in, because life insurance is equivalent to instant cash that can help our family in the event we are disabled or when we die too soon. So if we are the breadwinner in our family and something happens to us, the income that we used to receive is being replaced by insurance, right? So as we get older, we are increasing our wealth, right? By the time we are 40 or 50 years old, we are already done paying for our loans, debts, the education of our kids. We are done paying for the house that we have or the insurance. So we are saving and investing more, right? As shown by the wealth curve or the green curve. Hence, we have lesser responsibilities and more savings and investments, okay? And because we are able to save and invest, when we retire from our jobs and do not have active income, we are assured that we have enough money that we receive because of our investments. And this is what we call the passive income, wherein our money is already working for us. Thus, we say we are more secure, right? But another fact or truth in life is, what if we live too long? Who will take care of us? Do we have enough savings that will last us 20 to 30 more years? What if we get sick and need to be hospitalized, right? Who is going to help us? Are we going to depend on our children? Although our children, out of love, will offer to help us, but until when? They will most likely have their own kids or families at the time, right? So when we live too long, this is where investment and long-term healthcare comes in. Our key points here are, if we, the breadwinners, die too soon, life insurance will take care of our families. And if we live too long, investment and long-term healthcare will take care of us. So as parents or future parents who are financially educated, we now know that we shouldn't make our children our investments or our retirement fund. Let us strive then to have our own investments and long-term healthcare plans to take care of us when we retire and grow old. All right? And one way of increasing our wealth through investment is understanding the next concept, which is the power of compound interest. So, who among us here is their first time to encounter compound interest? Can you give me a thumbs up, please, to our 29 participants? Is this your first time to encounter compound interest? No? Really? That's good. So if this is not the first time you heard of compound interest, can you give me the heart reaction? The heart reaction, if compound interest is very familiar to us. All right. Okay, thank you. So that's good. Compound interest is the addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or a deposit and the accumulated interest from previous periods. So in other words, interest on interest over time. And this is best described using the rule of 72. So the rule of 72 was popularized by Albert Einstein, and it is a shortcut used to estimate the number of years required to double our money at a given annual rate of return. So we simply divide 72 over the interest rate. So for example, if the interest rate is 4%, then our money doubles every 18 years. For an 8% interest, our money doubles every 9 years. And for a 12% interest rate, our money doubles every 6 years. Okay, as easy as that, right? So for example, we are age 29 now, and we have 100,000 pesos to invest. If we put our 100,000 pesos in an account or an investment that gives us 4% interest, then our 100,000 will become 200,000 at the age 47 and 400,000 at age 65 because our money has doubled every 18 years. However, if we can find an investment platform that can give us 8% interest rate, this means our money doubles every 9 years, then our 100,000 pesos can become 1.6 million pesos at age 65. So I hope you see the difference, because with a 12% interest rate, we can have more than that. Okay, our 100,000 pesos can grow to as much as 6.4 million pesos when we retire at age 65, because our 100,000 initial investment doubled every 6 years. So the higher the interest rate, the shorter the time that it will take for our money to double. So to further understand how compound interest works, we must look at it on a long-term perspective. Compound interest is time dependent, and the longer our money is invested, the more compounding of interest will happen. So for example, this is from the Facebook page of Miss G. Isaal of IMG. So in this case, we are investing in the Soldivo Strategic Growth Fund, which is a mutual fund, and we are getting 12% average annual return, which is our interest rate. So using the rule of 72, our money doubles every 6 years. So if we consistently invest 500 pesos per month for 35 years, our investment of 210,000 pesos can grow to as much as 2.9 million pesos. Okay, and if we invest 1,000 pesos every month for 35 years, our investment of 420,000 pesos can grow to as much as 5.8 million pesos. So we can see here the big difference of money saved versus money invested. So if we just save 500 pesos a month for 35 years in a savings account, the total sum is just 210,000. And with inflation, its value can be lower, because what happens to our money in the bank? Most of us were taught when we were young the habit of saving, correct? We were taught to open a savings account in the bank so we can have some money to use for future expenses. All our lives, our money is just sitting in the bank without really understanding how the interest rates work, right? Did we ever consider asking what is the purpose of the interest rate? Now, since we are discussing about compound interest and growing our money, if we still do not know this, most banks will give us 1% annual interest or less. So applying the rule of 72, and if we put 100,000 pesos in the bank, we will have to wait for 72 years before it can double. So how much more if we're getting 0.5%, right? Can you imagine waiting for 144 years? However, we are not saying that we do not like banks, and we will discuss later on in the next slides why we need them as well. So the key point here is the interest in savings accounts are too low to offset inflation and increasing taxes. So realizing this situation, where then can we put our money so it can grow and balance inflation? We can put our money in investments in the stock market. Okay, so many of us have this misconception that investing in the stock market only belongs to the rich or the wealthy or the big business owners or big companies, right? That's why we are all fortunate to be here, because as early as now, we will correct this misconception. Anyone who has the means, the tools, the training, the education can invest in the stock market. It is in the stock market where we can find platforms or financial instruments that will help our money grow to offset inflation and increasing taxes. So it is in the stock market where we can enjoy 8 to 12% interest rates for the money that we invest. So we invest for our long-term goals, such as big purchases. That may be a property, a house, a car, education of our children, or to build a business. Okay. So further, there are two kinds of investing, and these are direct investing and indirect investing. And to differentiate the two, direct investing is when we actively participate in the we actively participate trading in the stock market. We actively participate in the buying and selling of shares of a company. An active trader is someone with the knowledge and skills to participate in trading in the stock market. And a lot of research, training, and time is needed before we can become a successful trader. On the other hand, indirect investing is especially made for people who do not have the knowledge or skills and the amount of time needed to be an active trader. So indirect investing is commonly investing passively in mutual funds. So if we are new to investing, it is recommended to invest in mutual funds and learn from there. So why mutual funds? One, it is easier to do. Two, the money that we invest will be handled by professional fund managers. Three, the mutual fund includes shares of several companies and not just one, which provides a diverse investment portfolio. And four, investing in mutual funds require a low investment minimum amount, because with just 1,000 pesos, you can already start investing in a mutual fund. So how does mutual fund work? Or how indirect investing will look like. So fund managers pool or collect the money of all individual investors in that mutual fund, and these managers will invest that money in big companies. So the fund managers are the ones who buy shares from the companies that are in the mutual fund. So all we have to do is to continue investing or adding more money to our investment account and wait for our money to grow. So the returns that we receive from our investments are from the profits gained by these big companies. So here is an example. So the mutual fund is called the Soldivo Strategic Growth Fund, and the money that we put or deposit in this mutual fund is being invested in companies like Ayala Corporation, Ayala Land, SM, BPI, Jollibee, BDO, Robinsons, and others. So we do not need to buy the individual shares of each company. We just invest in one mutual fund and let the fund managers do the work for us. So our gains will also depend on how much we invested. So if you are interested in learning more about investing in mutual funds, please talk to the person who invited you so you can attend our free classes on mutual funds investing. All right. And if you're still, let's say, hesitant to invest in mutual funds because of fear of being scammed. Did you know that SSS and even GSIS also invest their billions of pesos in mutual funds? So if big companies can invest in mutual funds, what is stopping us from investing as well, right? So understanding the concept of compound interest and using the rule of 72 makes us realize that there is no such thing as double or triple your money in 6 months or in a year, right? Because those are most likely scams. All right. So going back to our example earlier today, since we now know that saving our money is not enough for retirement, do you think we can invest 500 pesos a month? Can you give me your answers to our guest of today? Is it a yes or a no or a maybe? Okay, can you type your answer in our chat box? Kaya ba natin mag-invest ng 500 pesos a month? Or kaya ba natin mag-invest ng 1,000 pesos a month? Is it a yes or a no or a maybe? Okay, if it's a yes or a maybe, very good. I will accept that, okay? Pero if hindi kaya ang 1,000 pesos a month, start with 500 pesos per month and increase the amount over time, okay? So if hindi kaya ang 500 pesos, start with 100 and just save and then put it in a mutual fund, okay? So the important thing is we start investing because to take advantage of the compound interest, we need to invest early and often. So if you want to save this information for future use, you may take a screenshot of it, okay? All right. So since we are confident that we can invest even a small amount of money, we can be able to start building our own solid financial foundation. And this is the third financial concept that we will discuss today. So building a solid financial foundation is just like building a house from the ground up. And it should look like this according to priority. First, we must have proper healthcare coverage. Second, we must have proper protection or life insurance. Third, we should be able to manage and pay all of our debts. Fourth, we must be able to set aside money for emergency fund. And lastly, we should be able to save and make long-term investments. So for proper healthcare, there are three types of healthcare. We have the short-term healthcare, the senior care, and the long-term healthcare. So short-term healthcare is the traditional HMO. This is the healthcare we get from the company where we are employed. It has no life insurance coverage, renewal is not guaranteed, especially if there are high claims, and it only covers until age 60. So after we retire or when we are unemployed, we no longer have healthcare or health insurance. Also, any unused premiums are not returned to us, right? So it's good as nothing. And just like short-term healthcare, senior care is a healthcare that covers beyond 60 years old. But this one is very expensive due to conditions or illnesses that we might be having or experiencing when we get older. Annual premiums also increase as we age, and renewal is not guaranteed. So we do not recommend waiting to be at this age to get this expensive healthcare when we have the option of getting a long-term healthcare while we are able and insurable. Okay, so long-term healthcare is healthcare coverage with health savings account. It is renewable and has a fixed premium. All unused fund accumulates with interest because the unused premiums are being invested. And the best part, it covers beyond age 60. And we will share with you in the next slides the long-term healthcare program that we have here in the Philippines. So the bottom line here is having a proper healthcare is the start of building our solid financial foundation. The old saying, health is wealth, rings through because Without proper healthcare, we might end up we might end up spending most of our savings when we get sick or when we are hospitalized. Do you agree with me? Can you give me a thumbs up? All right, thank you very much. Okay, so the next is we need to have we need to have proper protection or life insurance. So the main purpose of life insurance is to protect our loved ones, our business, or properties the moment we die. So as breadwinners or working spouse or parent, our goal is to meet not just the basic needs of our families, but to strive to at least give them a comfortable life, if not a luxurious one. So while we work hard to realize this goal, we cannot avoid things that we do not have control of. So for example, we can get sick or worse, we die, right? So what will happen to our families? What will happen to our kids? If we do not have life insurance, there is no guarantee that our families will be comfortable. They will surely struggle. And we do not want that to happen to them. So if we have life insurance together with some savings and investments, this will be like instant cash or money that they can use to adjust to the changes, and especially that there is less or no active income for the family anymore. So with life insurance, the basic needs are at least met, since it is a replacement for the income that the family used to receive. So we get life insurance not for ourselves, but for our families who are depending on us. Okay, so how will we know the right amount of coverage that we need? We must know this because what if we are offered an insurance plan but it is not enough for our families, right? It would still be challenging for the family that we leave behind. So we compute for the coverage by multiplying our yearly or annual income by 10 years. So why 10 years? We need to prepare our family that we leave behind with enough money to support them, to pay for the education of our children, to pay for our loans if we still have them, to pay for the house that you got, the car that we purchased, any bills left, and other expenses. And for our family to be able to adjust comfortably to the changes without the burden of financial stress and hardship. So using this formula, this is our example. If we are earning 240,000 pesos a year times 10, the amount of coverage of the insurance plan that we should get should be at least 2.4 million pesos. Okay, for life insurance, we compute for life insurance coverage, we compute by multiplying our annual income by 10 years. All right. Okay, so the third one is we should be able to manage our debts or utang and reduce our liabilities or expenses. So I'm going back to our 35 guests for today. Who among us here has utang or loans? Can you give me the laughing emoji or the iyak tawa emoji at this time? Anyone who has loans? Okay, just a few. Wow. So if you are the person or one of the few who is utang free, can you please give me a heart reaction? Is there any heart reaction? Wow. Okay. Wow. Very good. Okay. So if you are that person, congratulations. Okay. So for those of us who has utang, we need to pay them off because it is a known fact that it is easy to borrow money or to get a loan or use a credit card because we can instantly buy the things that we want. However, when the time comes to pay for our loans or utang, it becomes very difficult, correct? Right? To establish our financial foundation, we need to pay off our debts. We need to learn how to eliminate all our utang because if we ignore them or we pretend they don't exist, they will continue to pile up. And did you know that compound interest is also used in loans? Okay, Yes, compound interest will work against us when we are paying our utang or loan. So think about our utang and how much is the interest rate, right? Apply the rule of 72. If we only pay the minimum balance on our loans, such as credit card loans, the whole loan amount will double fast due to the high interest rate. So one way of paying off debts is increasing our cash flow. And if you want to learn more about other ways to pay off debts, we do have classes for that. So just contact the person who invited you and we will give you the details. Okay, so the key point here is we need to live below our means so that as much as possible, hindi po tayo nangungutang. Or if we really need to borrow money to fund a business, we should know the interest rates and compute using the rule of 72. This way, we can determine if we are able to pay back that loan. All right? Okay. The fourth building block is we should have an emergency fund, which is money that is set aside in cases of, you guess it right, for emergencies, just like job or unemployment, accidents, home or car repairs, unforeseen medical expenses, and so on. So this is different from your other savings or investments. This is the money that we put in our savings accounts in the bank or in our ATMs. So whenever there is an emergency, we can easily withdraw the money. That's why we still need banks, as mentioned earlier. Having an emergency fund prevents us from using our insurance or our investments in times of emergencies. So how much should we set aside as emergency fund? Do we have any idea of an emergency fund? Okay, if not, we will share with you the formula. This is by computing or multiplying our monthly expenses by 12 months. So normally you will see that it is actually 3 to 6 months. However, with this pandemic, it is highly suggested that we to have at least 12 months of expenses. All right. So how do we start this? We need to list down all our monthly expenses such as rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, and other expenses, cable bills, internet, phone, and multiply the total by 12 months. So for example, excuse me, we have 10,000 pesos monthly expenses times 12. We should have at least 120,000 pesos as an emergency fund in our savings account. And we can start small and eventually we can build up our goal amount. Do you agree with me? Can we do this? Can we build up our emergency fund? Any reaction? Any thumbs up? Okay, thank you, thank you. All right, so we're almost done with our financial foundation. So the last one is building up our savings and investments. So when we are young and working, we need to save up for our retirement. We need to have enough money to support us when we no longer have jobs or active income. So I'm going back to our 34 guests here. So I need you to type your answers in our chat box, okay? All right, so how much should our retirement fund be? Can you give me some numbers? Okay, please type them in our chat box. What do you think should be the amount of a retirement fund? Come on, everyone, let's share our ideas. If you're not sure of the amount, we can also enter our goal amount of a retirement fund. Okay, so we have 10 million. Okay, who else? Who has any idea of how much should be a retirement fund be? Or what is your goal retirement fund? Okay. Yeah, how about the rest? We already have here 10 million. How about the rest? Another 10 million? Any lower than 10 million? Higher than 10 million? Okay, we have 15. Who else? Okay, 10, 4.9. Wow, okay, 4.9. I like that. Okay, we can round it off to 10 million. Who else? Okay, You don't have any retirement fund goals? Are you sure? Okay. So if we don't have any idea of how much our retirement fund be, IMG recommends that to compute for our retirement fund, this is the formula that we use. We multiply our yearly or annual income by 20 years. So why 20? We are considering the number of years that we may live after age 60, right? And we need this big amount for us to offset inflation and increasing taxes. Okay, so if we are earning 240,000 pesos a year times 20, our retirement fund should be at least 4.8 million pesos. We might think we won't be able to save for this amount if we only have 20 to 30 years before retirement. However, there are ways that we can achieve such goal, and that is to invest in mutual funds and long-term healthcare. Okay? Right, so remember our example earlier on compound interest. If we invest 1,000 pesos a month for 35 years with 12% interest, we can have 5.8 million, right? And if it's for 30 years, we can have 3.3 million pesos. So I hope you are able to use this formula to set a goal for us, okay? So to summarize the solid financial foundation, here is a copy that you can take a screenshot of. So you can save it because it also includes the possible action or action plan that we need to take to establish our financial house. Because with a strong financial foundation, we will be provided with a well-established financial house, which means a financially secured family, which in turn leads us to peace of mind, right? So again, for proper healthcare, we can get the short-term healthcare or the most recommended one, long-term healthcare. For life insurance, we get the minimum coverage, which is our annual income times 10 years. We need to live below our means to avoid overspending so that we can manage to pay all our debts. We need to set aside an emergency fund, which is 12 times our monthly expenses. And lastly, we need to build up our retirement fund by computing our annual income by 20 years. And we can achieve our retirement fund goal by investing in mutual funds and long-term healthcare. Okay? Okay. So the next question would be, how do we start? Where do we start? How can we start building our financial foundation, right? So for most of us who are new to these concepts, it might be challenging to start building our financial foundation. However, if there are three major financial needs that we must secure first for ourselves and our family, these are proper healthcare, life insurance, and savings and investments. So here in IMG, we are not here just to give a financial education, but to provide our guests and anyone else who want to learn with the platform to start increasing our income and give us access to the different trusted companies that will offer us the right insurance and investment opportunities. Okay, and one of IMG's partner companies that will help us start building our solid financial foundation is Kaiser International. Kaiser International is the only company in the Philippines that offers long-term healthcare that is coupled with protection and investment. So in this program, we do not need to save separately for healthcare, another for insurance, and another for investment. Okay, that's why it's called a 3-in-1 program, because with just one saving, we can have these three. Okay, so let's look at our example on the screen. Let's say we are 22 years old, okay, and we get the Kaiser K100 plan. The installment amount or annual saving is 58,821.43 pesos, but you can also pay monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. So depende sa gusto nyong paraan. and you will only be saving for just 7 years, okay, which will total to a contract price of 411,750 pesos. So take note, we just have to save for this amount for 7 years, okay? So during the 7 year saving period or the accumulation period, we receive benefits such as free checkups, annual physical exams, dental benefits, waiver of installment due to death and disability, basic medical benefits, and so on. Okay, we have this information on the screen. And after the 7 year saving period, we will be given a certificate of complete payment. Okay, and then all we have to do is to allow our money to grow for the next 13 years. So during the growth period of or the extended period, we still get the benefits that I mentioned earlier. Okay, upon reaching maturity or on the 20th year, our money that we saved were 411,750 pesos for the K100 plan has now accumulated to almost 1.2 million pesos. Okay, so our saving for just 7 years can reach this amount, provided we did not get sick and use a portion of the savings amount. Okay, so we can reach this maturity value provided we did not get sick and use the portion or a portion of the savings amount. All right. So after the growth period and after our money has grown into 1.2 million, we have the following options. So we can withdraw the entire maturity value, withdraw portions of it, or retain the maturity value, the whole of it, and let it grow further. Take note, however, that if we withdraw the entire maturity value, we will no longer have any coverage under the Kaiser plan. Hence, it is highly recommended that we need to keep the whole amount or a portion of it invested. So we will continue to have coverage after the 20th year, okay, until we reach or at least more than 60 years old. That's why it's called long-term healthcare. Okay, so if we started saving for this Kaiser healthcare plan by age 22, okay, and we reach 60 years old, provided we haven't used or withdrawn any of our invested money, the total accumulated amount can total to as much as 6.4 billion pesos. And by age 65, our investment can grow to 10.4 million. So this is how compound interest works. So if you want to know more about Kaiser Healthcare Program, please talk to the person who invited you. And you can also visit the website kaiserhealthcaregroup.com. All right? Okay, are you guys still with me? Okay, just a few more slides and we're done for the day. Okay. All right, so aside from Kaiser International, IMG is also partnering with other big companies in the country. Okay, so these companies are providing services and products and services for healthcare, life insurance, investments, and other financial services. So to categorize this one, the list is as shown. So by being a member of IMG, we can avail of the services of these companies at a discount. Okay, so if you want to take a screenshot of this one, you can do so. Okay, so by being a member of IMG, we can start building our financial foundation. Why? Because based on the financial concepts and principles of building wealth, IMG is so generous to give us ways and means to start saving for our future. So as of this time, there are 48 benefits just by being a member. So benefits 1 to 39 are applicable for those based in the Philippines, and the additional benefits 40 to 48 are given to our OFWs. So since we do not have enough time to discuss all these 48 benefits, allow me then to mention a few of them. All right. So These are the benefits that will allow us to start building our wealth by being an IMG member. So we have unlimited free financial seminars and checkups. We also have free 1,000 pesos personal accident insurance provided that you have active accreditation. This insurance is from Manila Bankers. We also have 50,000 life insurance from Fidelity Life with just 500 pesos one-time fee. We also have free eye checkups and eyeglass frames. IMG members can get 2 free eyeglass frames per year. We also have free unlimited consultation at Kaiser Medical Center for members and discounted medical services for members and their immediate family, access to Kaiser healthcare programs, and then access to Manila Bankers Life Insurance. We also have 0% entry fee on mutual fund investments for IMG members, because if you open a mutual fund account with a financial broker, you normally pay fees for it. But when you are an IMG member, you don't pay any entry fee, okay? And as a member, you are entitled to a 1,000 pesos initial investment in a mutual fund account. Okay. And then if you are into active trading in the stock market, you also have access to My Trade, which is a stock market trading platform. You can also avail of discounts on non-life insurances such as car insurance, travel insurance, personal accident, and fire protection insurance. You also have discounts on real estate purchases with SMDC or Ayala Land or DMCI, and discounts on car purchases. Plus, you also receive the free Everest Memorial Services. And with IMG, we can also start our financial business via the business ownership program. We can travel the world for free, we can have world-class recognition, and we can qualify for free HMO coverage when we continue to do the business ownership program and reach certain milestones. Okay, so how do we start receiving such great benefits at IMG? The answer is simple: become a member. Okay, and we have two membership options: the basic membership and the advanced associate membership. So if we choose to get the basic membership, we pay a one-time fee of 6,000 pesos, and the benefits that we can get are access to the 48 benefits mentioned earlier, the opportunity to become licensed and accredited as a financial planner. We have 50,000 death or memorial benefit, 100,000 accident insurance benefit, an online mutual fund account with 1,000 pesos worth of shares, and unlimited financial education trainings and classes. Okay, so as we can see here in the upper right side of the slide, with just the basic membership, 2 blocks of the solid financial foundation are already covered. Okay, so life insurance and investments. Okay, and if we choose to get the associate membership, we pay the one-time fee of 6,000 pesos plus the first month's payment of the Kaiser healthcare plan. So in this example, we are using the K100 plan. Hence, the total initial payment is 12,382 pesos. And with this membership, the benefits that we can get are access to the 48 benefits, the opportunity to be licensed and accredited as financial planner, up to 500,000 burial or death benefit, 1 million accident insurance benefit, the online mutual fund account with 1,000 pesos worth of shares, unlimited financial education trainings and classes, plus the opportunity to start a financial brokerage business with 6-figure income potential, which will help us increase our cash flow, manage our debt, build an emergency fund, and increase our investments. And of course, we have our Kaiser 3-in-1 long-term healthcare plan. So take note of the financial foundation, because with the associate membership, all blocks are covered, which makes this a great start for us in building our own solid financial foundation. So if you want to take a screenshot of this table, you may do so. Okay. Okay, and to provide or to give you a breakdown of the membership fees, these are what we will be paying for. So for basic membership, we have 5,500 is the one-time membership fee, and the 500 pesos is for the Fidelity Life Insurance with 50K coverage. So this is just one time as well. On the other column, we use the Kaiser K100 plan for the associate membership. So the total initial payment is broken down into the 6,000 membership fee and life insurance and the 5,882 pesos, which is the first month's payment of the K100 plan, plus 500 pesos annual policy fee. So in the associate membership option, we also have higher and lower plans that we can choose from, and not just the K100. But if we are getting the K100 plan, we will initially pay 12,382 pesos, and on the second month onwards, we will only save 5,882 pesos every month for 7 years, with the option to pay either quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. And you can also take a screenshot of this breakdown, including the next slide that I'm going to show. Okay, so here is the table for the different Kaiser healthcare plans that you can choose from. So if you are interested in becoming a member or getting a Kaiser healthcare plan, or to learn more about our membership options, please do not hesitate to have a chat with your inviter. All right? Okay, so we're almost done. So after learning the realities that we are facing and the benefits that we can get from IMG, some of us can still be skeptical or hesitant to start saving or investing. But no matter what our excuses, we still get old next year. Our kids will grow up and enter college, and we will need to pay for their education, and we will eventually retire, get old, and stop making active income. So the point here is take action now. Invest in the present to ensure a secure future for us and our family. Okay? So be part of a community that inspires you. So when members of your community save and invest, you will be inspired to save and invest as well. Okay? Because the opposite will happen when you surround yourself with people who are spenders. You will most likely spend more than you earn. Hence, find your money tribe that will help you rise from the financial challenges and help you achieve financial success. Okay? IMG's mission is to convert people from being spenders to savers and to teach them how to save the right way. And when you start being a saver in IMG, you can also become an advocate, an educator, and an entrepreneur. Being here now, you can be included in our movement, the 30M by 30 Financial Literacy Campaign. So we will be posting a link in the chat box later on, wherein you can provide your name and contact information so you will be counted. Or you can simply provide the same information to your inviter. Okay. Further, we are encouraging all our 34 guests here today to invite your family and friends who can benefit from this class. Let's all share the mission and grow our financially educated community. So as of today, we are able to reach 4 million Filipinos around the globe. So let us all be part of this advocacy and start building a better future. Okay, so remember, financial independence is not a dream, it is a decision to make. So don't just dream about financial security, make it happen. And why not start your journey towards financial freedom with IMG? Thank you very much for investing your time with us today. I hope everyone learned something new, relearned something familiar, and unlearned something that needs changing. Thank you, everyone. Let's continue to stay safe, and God bless us all.